The story of not being good enough has haunted me my entire life. I dropped out of school when I was 16 and a half and joined the Royal Navy. So in my mind, the story has always been that I am uneducated. And how does an uneducated person become successful in the world? Hello, my game changers, and thank you for joining me for another episode of The Game Changer. Today, we're talking about stories and how they affect our everyday life. My story is probably not dissimilar to many others out there who have got this not good enough kind of background and idea. The stories may change on how we get there, but they affect us in the same way. Stories are very, very powerful. And they come from, obviously, our past and how we've been brought up, how our parents have treated us, how we did at school, how our coaches treated us. All of this good stuff pulls into our stories. And there's these stories that simply aren't true. Mine is not true. Yeah, I dropped out of school and I didn't go to college. That doesn't make me uneducated. I've actually taken a lot of time over the years to educate myself. I've gone through the school of hard knocks. So I am educated, just in a very different way to those who would go to college. So that's an untrue story. There are stories that are, in fact, true. Those stories are things like, I wasn't a good writer. And I wasn't a good writer because, I didn't spend time doing any writing. But I've worked on it and I've become a decent writer. Video recording. I wasn't very good at this. Don't know if I still am. But I'm still here and I can still edit videos and I can still do that. So we can work on the story part of thing if it's something that we're missing, right? A certain education that we're missing. We can work on that. But then there is these other story loops like I don't deserve it, other people's opinions matter, I'm performing for my family, my coach, my audience, whatever it is, there's stories that we carry, and we need to be aware of these stories because they shape our future and can hold us back. It's almost like we're running with a resistance parachute, right? And we're trying to get into our future and we're trying to make things happen, but this parachute just keeps holding us back and holding us back. So my challenge to you today, as is always the case, we have a challenge, is can you identify the stories that you are living with? Do you know them? And once identify them, can you sit with them and explore their validity? Can you actually decide if that's a true story that will benefit your future, or is it a story that's just holding resistance and holding you back? My story of being uneducated is clearly false. Yes, I didn't pick up the standard education, but I've got my own education. I've worked hard to study, become a business coach, help people out, grow into a business and make a business of their choosing worthwhile, right? And so I've created that. And now my story is I am helping athletes of all levels, right? You can be a weekend athlete, a college athlete, or a pro athlete. It doesn't matter, but there's a mental shift that needs to happen when you want to take your sporting career and actually transfer it to the world of business, right? And so my story is now dedicated to actually helping with that mental shift. Understanding stories is one of those mental shifts. I'd love to help you out. I'd love to partner with you. Reach out to us, pbcoaching.com. Click on the schedule a call button. You can always direct message me on LinkedIn. I'm on there every day. So I look forward to working with you. Figure out your stories, understand who you are, what stories are holding you back, and what stories can propel you into a brighter future. Thanks for listening.